Yeah, that's better, mate. To be honest, X is having a bit of problems. Just I was trying to get you as a speaker, and it kept putting you back down as a listener. So, can you speak now? We lost him again.
Okay. Can you, I can't hear you at the moment for some reason. Sorry about this, Scott. Let me try. I'm going to try from another device.
I can hear you. All right. Well, while we're waiting for him to try and sort the technical issues out, do you want to just get going? Go.
Yeah, no problem. So welcome all. Thanks all for joining the main token armor featuring LayerOneX this Tuesday, the 20th of February. I'm your co-host, Freudgate, and of course we have the main man, founder of the main token, Scott. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. It's always obviously for anyone that's new here. Obviously, Goat joined me yesterday for his first AMA, and he'll be doing these AMAs with me in the future. So obviously, just bear with us while we get our techniques up to scratch. But thank you for everyone that's joined, and we're just waiting for LayerOneX now.
But whilst we're waiting, there's obviously a few new people here and stuff, so we could talk about main, and if you want.
Yeah, so basically, for anyone that's new here, the main token is a platform for all new projects or existing projects to get a plug, a spotlight on the space. Obviously, what we say here is not financial advice, and obviously, always do your own research. But yeah, so basically, we have got LayerOneX here today. So how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Wow.
Honestly, mate. Honestly, it's X is it's so temperamental. Honestly, we've had it so many times before, but now at least we got you up now.
I appreciate it, mate. Look, I appreciate the empathy. Thanks, mate.
Mate, honestly, it happens on more or less every space. But
that's the thing. I was trying to add the co-hosts, and it was not doing it. I did it about 4 times, and it still wasn't happening. And yeah, it's all crazy on X.
Yeah, to be honest, I do prefer Telegram, but obviously the exposure is a lot better on X. And once you get going, everything's fine. So, do you want to just give a brief introduction of yourself, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, firstly, thank you for having me again, mate. It's great to be on again. Welcome to all of your community and all of the LayerOneX community to the spaces as well. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of LayerOneX. My name's Machu Rudolph, and LayerOneX is a Layer 1 blockchain, and it's been in development for about 2.5 years now, coming up to launch very soon in next month. And excited to talk about it today.
Yeah, and to be honest, I really enjoyed our last AMA, and I remember we could have carried on for hours. There's that much to speak about, and obviously, I've actually tested your platform myself, and it can actually be beneficial for a lot of people like myself who, creators and people that host AMAs, and we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, do you want to just give a brief introduction of what the project is about, and about the team and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the team, the project itself was founded by Kevin Cotino. He's been developing for about 2 decades now, but he's been in blockchain for about 3 or 4 years. And predominantly the core team is in Australia, Perth, Western Australia. But there's multiple team members across the world and growing as we grow. LayerOneX is a Layer 1 blockchain, and a lot of the questions we get all the time is, why another Layer 1? Because there's so many out there. And what makes LayerOneX different is that built into the Layer 1 itself is a cross-chain technology called Xtalk or Crosstalk. And what that means is, as a Layer 1, we can connect to any chain. It's a very unique feature to be able to connect to any chain, because multiple different chains speak different languages and are built on different standards. So by connecting to any chain, when we connect to that chain itself now has bridgeless interoperability between every other chain we're connected to. And the reason, I suppose, the importance I say bridgeless is that 45%, almost 50% of all hacks within blockchain in terms of volume have come from bridges, billions of dollars. And so if one of the problems we can solve is to create this cross-chain communication and exchange without bridges, then that's potentially solving a $3 billion or more problem. And
yeah, that's amazing.
yeah. And it goes beyond that as well, and this is part of the evolution of the team, right? As we continue to build it out and we see the potential of it. So outside of bridges, there's and anyone who's been as an on-chain user and has a wallet and is in the DeFi space or whatever will know that communication between chains or transfer of assets between chains is complex sometimes and expensive and risky. And projects, so these chains are kind of sitting in silos where they're not connecting to anyone. They're an island, and projects building on that island have access to the resources on the island. But what about giving them resources to every island? And it's when you not only can transfer tokens, NFTs between EVM, non-EVM, whatever chain, but when you can also have smart contracts talk to each other across chain, it creates an ecosystem of blockchains where the experience is one chain, like one internet. And that's probably the bigger impact as well that technology can have.
Yeah, and to be honest, this is what I love about you, is because you're not actually competing against other chains. You're actually trying to bring chains together, which, in my opinion, like I've always said to you on every AMA, like teamwork makes dreams work. So if you've got other big blockchains actually promoting you because you're solving a problem for them, you're onto a winner straight away.
Yeah, and I think that's a great. It's something we take pride in, the fact that we can approach this in a non-competitive manner, like a unifying manner, and it still be a hugely powerful project, right? Through collaboration, through that connection. But yeah, look, it's one of those things that this keeps on evolving, and as we kind of build out the project, we see more and more opportunities where it can have an impact. So yeah, exciting. It's very exciting.
So do you want to just touch on a little bit about where are you up to at the moment? So have you done some pre-sales and stuff, or how is it all going so far for like the if people wanted to get involved, how do they get involved?
So all the sales have been completed. The next will be listing, launching, which will be in March next year, and a specific date to be advised. But there is the other things that we're doing. So one of the best use cases that you can use now on the LayerOneX app, LayerOneXapp.com. It's in a desktop version at the moment, so you'll need to be on a desktop, but that's evolving. And then, but one of the best use cases is the cross-chain swaps. And so these cross-chain swaps, if anyone's used like Stargate Finance or Squid Router or Synapse or some of these other cross-chain bridges, then they can be really convenient, right, to be able to send assets cross-chain. It's probably the only way you can do it other than going up through a centralized exchange. And by the technology that we have within the swaps, there's so many benefits to it. So it's faster, it's cheaper, and it's through a decentralized consensus mechanism, through a decentralized system. So you keep custody of your assets all the way through. And what makes it faster and cheaper is that the technology, because we've built a virtual machine, which basically all the smart contracts on a blockchain interact with the virtual machine. But because we've built our virtual machine in a unique way, then when you're going cross-chain, one, it can connect to any chain. It's basically like if we all spoke a different language on this spaces and we couldn't understand each other, what we do is we put a universal translator in the middle of the room. You can continue to speak your native language or native programming code, but you can still understand but also be understood by everyone else in the room. And so with that, because most of the work is done by the virtual machine, it means we have to interact with the source and destination chain smart contracts less. So that means it makes it faster, and it also makes it cheaper. And we did some tests recently, some comparison tests, and across like Binance to ETH, AVAX to Polygon, Polygon to Binance, and we also compared that to Squid Router and Stargate Finance, and we were on average 6 times cheaper than they were.
Bloody
And
hell.
faster.
That's amazing. That is really impressive. Have you had much volume through it at the moment? Like, or you're not really, you haven't really marketed that much, have you? But how much have you had much volume through there?
Yeah, so we've had transactions in the probably thousands, tens of thousands since, because it's been operating for some time. However, what we're doing now is, because it relies on liquidity. So how the cross-chain swaps work, they can work 2 ways. So you can either, let's say I want to swap $100 worth of BNB with $100 worth of Ethereum. So what I do is I put that BNB into a pool on Binance Smart Chain. It sends the message cross-chain. The virtual machine translates it so Ethereum understands it, and it pulls $100 of ETH out the other side. Or you can take those tokens and put them onto LayerOneX, and now that liquidity pair, if it's on LayerOneX, it will serve every chain we're connected to from one pool. And so the technology behind that and being able to have multiple different pools means that we need to provide liquidity for those pools for that to work efficiently, so you can swap more and more volume cross chain. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow. Actually, the timing's pretty good. We're starting a liquidity bootstrap program where people can deposit USDT, USDC from Binance or ETH, and deposit into the balancer pool, multi-chain balancer pool, where half of that gets turned into L1X and paired up to provide liquidity for the cross-chain swaps. So you can do larger values of swaps between BSC and ETH and USDT and USDC. And so, but there's some pretty decent rewards associated with providing liquidity. So I think the APR on your deposit is up to like 500%, because it's creating such a crucial value to the ecosystem that we can showcase the swaps with higher values. So that's something that we're starting tomorrow.
That's amazing. And would any project be able to be listed on this, or would they have to provide their own liquidity? Like, for example, say Main wanted to jump on this, and so people could buy Main with BNB and stuff. How would a project go about doing that?
It's actually fairly simple, because we're in a phase now, we're opening up all the smart contracts, so developers can kind of self onboard onto the protocol itself, and then we'll also have some sort of ease of use to connect to the liquidity as well, or the cross chain with your liquidity. But once it's up, all it would be you would just take your token and deposit it into a pool that was connected to the cross-talk contract, and then now your token can become a tradable option across the cross-talk contract. So now any other token on any other chain that is also providing liquidity can buy your token.
Man, that's huge, man. That is absolutely huge. No way. I remember you saying, like, yeah, this is, to be honest, mate, I'm really impressed. Really, really impressed.
I remember using cross-chain swaps, when they first sort of came out, and it just seemed pointless to even use it. The fees were so high. You might as well just take it to an exchange and do it that way. So what you're saying now, it's basically mitigated the need to do that. It's more convenient and cheaper to do it with your swap.
Yeah. So, like, to give you like a specific example, the swap from Binance Smart Chain to Ethereum was on that cross-chain transaction on Squid Router, I think it was about $56 for that transaction. And then the one on Stargate was about $28, and then ours was $6.
That is insane.
Wow.
It costs more to send it to Binance and exchange it.
and that's probably the next level to that, is that if you like you were talking about, Scott, before, but providing your token onto the platform. And now you can do like and also with Solana, and we're integrating the Bitcoin network with the halving. And so you'll be able to swap like directly, like native BNB with native Solana, and do it through one click, one transaction. Now you probably have to kind of send it up to an central, like you were saying before, is that send it up to a centralized exchange and then bring it back onto Solana with a Phantom wallet, right? So with the LayerOneX wallet, you can hold like any token from any chain that we're connected to in that one wallet. So once that is released and upgraded to that capacity, then you'll be able to just have the LayerOneX wallet on any chain we're connected to.
Insane, mate. Honestly, really, really impressive. But obviously, I need to ask you about this. I know your developer's got a lot of experience and stuff, but like, what about security? And obviously, it's never been done before. So,
Yeah.
how are you testing all this?
Yeah, so we've already got the crosstalk smart contract audited by Hashlock, right? And Hashlock is like one of the I think CoinMarketCap, like top 5 auditors, and they're a good bunch of guys because they're from Australia as well. That's not why, but they're a good bunch of guys. Yeah, they've done the smart contract audit, and now they're doing the remaining smart contract audits, and they're auditing the virtual machine as well. And so we're having to. I know there's a stage. The first stage is of the first report, on which will be some of the smart contracts and part of the virtual machine. I think will come out at the end of this month, and then completion of that, but all those smart contracts and VM by launch with those guys as well. But we do a lot of testing, and the like the mechanism, like the architecture, if I can geek out a little bit here, is where there's so many verification processes. Like, so what you do is you the transaction on the source chain, let's say I'm going from Binance to ETH, transaction on Binance is picked up by, we've got nodes called event listener nodes. These event listener nodes listen for events on the chains we're connected to, and they basically take that event, that message, and then they give it they verify and validate it, and it gets a global ID transaction. And then that information gets passed on to the consensus mechanism and the virtual machine, and they will only interact with the messages that have that global transaction ID. But then there's all these thresholds, right, that you have to meet in terms of consensus along the way. But so the architecture is such that there's so many kind of stops and checks all the way through. And then even if there's a failure within the execution of the transaction, whether it's on the source chain or the destination chain, there's a revert function which reverts the funds back to the source chain wallet. So you never lose custody of your assets in that process. So there's a few different mechanisms around the security. That's probably just a few of them.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Sounds good. At the end of the day, obviously, there might be a few little issues here and there, but I bet you've done a lot of
yes.
I bet you've done a lot of testing anyway. But I'm just going to
we
quickly.
have. Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly ask people. I've pinned a tweet into the nest. If you want to ask any questions, we're going to be tipping some users of our Telegram. So I'm going to start picking a few questions soon. But yeah, just if you want to quickly give that a retweet and just join our Telegram, and then you might win some prizes. But yeah, moving on then. I was going to say, give me 2 seconds, just quickly, because I had a few messages. Do you know, obviously we were speaking about last time you was on, do you want to explain about the platform? Do you know, like the content creator platform, where I think this is absolutely amazing, and I am going to try it. Like I said to you before, I'm going to be completely honest. The reason I use X is because that's where my followers are, and it would be hard for me to get people over to a different platform. But I think, over time, people will understand the benefits of what you're about to explain, because you're going to have all that where people can buy the token straight away and stuff like that. Do you want to just give a brief introduction about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you've got the infrastructure, which is the protocol, which is LayerOneX, and then we about October, September last year, there was work had begun on the LayerOneX app, where that's basically like the interface, like the doorway into the protocol, where you've got cross-chain swaps in there. You'll have the multi-chain balancer pool, and that LayerOneX app is where you'll go to participate in the liquidity bootstrap. But you've got that, the multi-chain balancer pool. You'll have gaming arcade in there, and what we're trying to do is trying to create like an interface of ecosystem of like DeFi projects, gaming, and continue to build that out onto the app with projects that are on board. And then because we have the cross-chain interoperability, then it could be projects on any chain that could utilize the app. And so basically, with the LayerOneX app, we're building that out. Now, part of that, there's got a few different things. So part of that I think you were getting at, Scott, was like an influencer section. But really, I suppose at the core of it, it's a website that you can build that has the like Web3 features in it, where you can mint an NFT, you can mint your own tokens, you can do a swap, you can tokenize anything, right? So there's all these features within that. And I think from that will continue to grow. It'll have streaming from it, so you can stream from it. But I think at the core of it, and this is what I'd probably say with you, Scott, potentially what you would do if you were kind of trying it out, is that maybe you'd use it as a website base, right? Where people, you give them the URL, they go to the website, and then they can also, it's not just a website, but it has all these Web3 features, transactions, NFTs, coins, you can reward them, all that kind of stuff from the website. And I think that's probably the first stage. And then from there, as that gets adoption, and then because adoption takes some time, right, with all these sort of things, as it gets adoption, then you can start to maybe build more of a home there as it goes. But yeah, so the LayerOneX app is basically like the interface that sits over the protocol itself.
Yeah, because I've got quite a few people in the room that I actually know that do streaming. Haribo's in here, and he actually does streaming for a living and stuff. So I just think it's amazing how you can literally tokenize your brand very easily. And then obviously the other thing, if I remember correctly, obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but if someone signs up using your link and then someone signs up using their link, you still get the revenue from the people. It's like it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. More or less.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically, there's a referral mechanism in there, where if you refer someone to the platform, then you get a portion, like 10% of their transaction fees that are accrued on the platform. So yeah, there's all those kind of incentive mechanisms on there for adoption as well. But there's also, with the cool thing about it is that there's also really like valuable effective kind of things that can be built out of this as well. Like, so that's where you were talking about before, where you said provide maybe the main token on the liquidity pool on a BSC chain, right? What we're looking to do as well is we want to create a widget out of that swap. And so you can pick that up as an iframe and place it on your website. And then so anyone coming to your website can now transact directly on your website with any token on any chain that the crosstalk is connected to. And then so that then gives you a lot more access for your users to not go off your site, right? To buy the token, people can go to your site. If they see what they like, they can automatically buy it on your site. They don't have to go off the site. And that also generates transaction fees that are given to the projects that implement the widget. So it's kind of, there's stuff like that kind of, I think, helps projects in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, that's amazing, because obviously we have got a widget at the moment, but people can only use it to buy with like ERC20. So you're saying people can implement the widget onto their website, and people will be able to use. I know Bitcoin's not ready yet, but for example, once that's ready, they could use Bitcoin to buy a token on ETH and stuff like that.
Yeah. When we connect the Bitcoin network up, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. It really is, mate. It really is. But obviously, if you've got time, I don't know how long you've got, but I want to see if there's any questions from our community, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure. No problem, mate.
All right, 2 seconds. Goat, have you actually found any?
I got a few. What are you doing security wise? Obviously on the multi-chain swap. Obviously in the past there's been a lot of exploits and things like that happen with so what have you done in that regard to prevent against obviously attacks and hacks and things like that?
Yeah, so with like a bridge infrastructure, it's like a mint and burn mechanism, right? Or it's a locked mechanism where the funds go into the bridge structure and they're locked on one chain, and then that value that's locked represents the value that comes out on the other chain. So where that value is locked is a massive honeypot. And so with us, we don't have that mint and burn structure. So we feed liquidity into a pool, and that value is automatically extracted out of the other side of the destination chain. So that takes away the honeypot that's there for hackers and for people that want to exploit. But there's a couple of kind of unique things that we do around the security in the consensus mechanism, which basically validates all the transactions that come through. Is that we use a form of AI called HTM, and I kind of always get this wrong, but I think it's hierarchical temporal memory, right? It's basically a machine learning algorithm. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I probably made that up, right? No, but it's basically a machine learning algorithm that basically scans the ecosystem of nodes and detects a bad acting node before it can do any negative impact. So there's some really unique things within the security. So that's why it's also another reason why it's good that the Hashlock guys are going through the VM, because this is new territories for blockchain. So making sure, I'm really interested to see their feedback on what they think about the tech.
Yeah, man, that sounds crazy. Yeah, AI is it's taken over, isn't it? I mean, that sounds very impressive. That's the thing. So yeah,
and it sounds very impressive, right? And it is. But AI, it's very easy to sound impressive when you say the word AI these days, isn't it?
Yeah, especially literally every trending, like once every project's got AI in now, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it does. The thing is, I have experimented as well with a lot of AI, but yeah, when it comes to sort of deeper tools and things like that, that's interesting to me, especially when it comes with to security and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really cool.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think some leaps and bounds will be made with AI, right? And it's creeping into like so many different parts. And I don't know about you guys, but I use it all the time. It's so much more efficient with some things.
Yeah.
Even just just to start an idea or start something that you want to get a base from. So yeah, no, I think it would have a massive impact on how we do life.
Yeah, because I think it's not perfect, but I totally agree with you. With you use it for a base and then you build off of that, because if you let it do its own thing, it's never going to be great. It always needs, at the moment anyway, human input.
and you imagine like obviously like kids these days growing up with phones, the next generation will grow up with an AI environment, right? So they'll just be used to using AI all the time. That who knows what happens to, does everyone become like an AI personality? I don't know.
Have you ever seen Wall-E, where they're all like really fat and like in chairs, obviously not doing anything for
Yes.
themselves at all? It sounds like
Yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
be like.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is scary though, isn't it? How like these robots are literally taking over. Like, it might be funny. Like, you can understand why so many people are losing jobs and stuff because, like, with all this technology, like, I might be funny. Like, I know developers that use this AI stuff now, and it does everything for them and stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose there's pros and cons to everything. You know, there's gives and takes.
Yeah,
I
I
think
totally agree.
technically it can be used great, in great ways. But I think when it comes to art and stuff like that, then that's when you get into a sort of, should we be doing it on, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I hear this saying, right, is that someone said it's not technology that's evil, humans are. So, it's what how we use that technology and how, and like really that's the risk, right? The human.
That's
Yeah.
totally true. That's totally true.
Back to your project though.
Mhm.
What I wanted
Yep.
to know was, obviously you've got the multi-chain swap, and you say you need liquidity for it to function. So what tokens do you have? A lot of tokens on there at the moment, or do you have just
Yeah.
a small few? Or
Yeah, we've currently got Ethereum, Binance, Polygon, and AVAX operational with the liquidity, because you have to have liquidity on each chain. So that's operational now. As we build up the liquidity, so at the moment you can go, AVAX to BNB, Matic to ETH to Binance, or USDT, USDC across those chains. But the minimum, the maximum amount that you can take cross chain is limited because of the liquidity. And so that's why the liquidity bootstrap basically opens up more liquidity for more swaps, higher volume of swap, higher value of swaps. So that's why the liquidity bootstrap is happening. But it's with the liquidity as it kind of evolves. Like I was saying before, like Scott, you could let's say you have the main token and you put it into the cross chain pool. So now it's on BSC. But let's say you had that main token on LayerOneX, is that main token now would serve the liquidity of every other chain that we were connected to, in a way where it's quite inexpensive to do that, because if you kept it on main token, every time you wanted to kind of access liquidity cross chain, you'd have to do or create a liquidity pair that accesses all chains. You'd have to go to a source. You'd have to go through L1X to a destination, back through L1X to the source. Where if you're on LayerOneX, it's like from LayerOneX to the source, back to LayerOneX, from LayerOneX to the to the destination, back to LayerOneX. And so it's cheaper as well to consolidate the liquidity on LayerOneX and have it serve multiple different chains. And I think where you'll see the real adoption of that is in a few different things. So when we open it up, when the cross-chain swap widget is available, and then also when the X wallet is available to hold all those coins in the wallet, I think those kind of stages will kind of see that evolve.
Yeah, and didn't you mention to me last time? Obviously, for example, like if we're speaking about main, for example, obviously our LP's locked, but didn't you say that you could mirror that or something like that before?
Yeah. So this is the cool thing about the smart contract logic interact. So smart contracts talking to each other cross chain. So what you could do is so with that locked liquidity that you have, there must be some sort of LP token that comes with like some sort of token receipt, right? And so you
Yeah.
could give that, you could give that token receipt if you wanted to. You could give it value of the locked liquidity in the pool, and then you could pair it with something else, like I don't know, BNB, or there's a few different things that you'd have to set it up like BNB. But if you did that, if you created like a replica, you can do this as well. So you can have the native liquidity sit on Binance Smart Chain. You could create a wrapped version of that on LayerOneX, pair it with LayerOneX, and then that could act as your kind of liquidity pair, if you wanted to. But because you would have to, what you'd have to do though is you'd have to be able to, yeah, I see what you're saying. You'd have to be able to separate the pair. I mean, yeah, that would change the dynamics of your liquidity value, because you would have to keep it in the existing liquidity pair, and then you would have to pair it with LayerOneX. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
We'll speak more about that. We did speak about it
Yeah,
before.
I'll get back to you.
But people would still be able to use it, as you say, and it would still be cheaper than, it would still be cheaper than someone changing ETH to BNB anywhere else anyway, because they're using your liquidity. So it would actually make the swaps cheaper, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Rather than going, you would, because whenever you go cross chain, you've got to pay the source chain and the destination chain. So when I'm going Binance to Ethereum, you've got to pay the fees on Binance and the fees on Ethereum, so you still have to, because there's transactions happening on both of those chains. But why we're cheaper is because we interact with less smart contracts on the destination chains, because every time you interact with a smart contract, it increases the gas. And so what we do is that makes it, by doing that, it makes it extremely cheap to be able to go cross chain. So yes, basically it would be cheaper to transact. In fact, it's, even if you're using the cross chain on a Binance Smart Chain, let's say you want to go Binance Smart Chain USDT to Binance Smart Chain USDC, even though you're using the cross chain, I think Pancake's like 23 cents, and I think when last time I did it on us, it was 29 cents or something like that. It was pretty close to the actual Pancake kind of fee, even though we're kind of using the crosstalk mechanism. And I know that's more expensive. However, it's not that much more expensive. And if you've got a widget that you can just do on-chain swaps with as well, like any token on Binance, you can swap it on the widget. You can go across chain on the widget. You can do whatever you want on the widget. Then you may be okay with paying an extra 4 cents a transaction.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And it might be funny, and it's mainly for cross chain, isn't it? So if people wanted to just do a normal swap, then obviously they have got the option to go to just Pancake swap, etc. But now I understand what you mean. Yeah, man, it's honestly really impressive, mate. Really impressive. You got any more questions, Goat, from the community?
I have, but they're kind of, the generic-y ones. What's the strategy for attracting new users and investors to your platform? That sort of stuff. But I suppose that that it could be one.
Yeah. Well, I think like part of the value of the LayerOneX coin, it's a utility coin, so its value is derived by its utility, and so we need users and we need good use cases, and so I think that's important. And I think but the benefit that we have in terms of adoption are things like being able to provide projects on any chain with a widget that can service their token cross chain. That, like, I don't, from the sounds of what you've heard me describe this widget, Scott, would you replace your widget that you've got with this widget?
Yeah, because obviously ours isn't cross chained. Ours is only, people can only use like ETH. So if I could introduce like a widget where people can use BNB to buy mains, then of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Everything sounds great. That's the thing. But it's like, how are people going to hear about that? What's your strategy that way?
Yeah. So basically what we're doing is, we've got 3 campaigns kind of leading up to launch. So the first one is the liquidity bootstrap, which is opening tomorrow, and that will service the liquidity for the cross-chain swaps, people going into those. And I would urge anyone interested in doing that, jump onto our Discord. I think the links, one of the community members can chuck a Discord link in the chat. That'd be great. But so that's the first campaign in terms of having the liquidity on there, and then that'll bring more users on, right, and promoting our speed, our cost, and then the second campaign is an airdrop campaign that will be running around the swaps as well. So once we've got the liquidity built up, the cross-chain swaps are happening, we open up the airdrop campaign, which will start to then push people on to be rewarded for cheaper, faster swaps, right? Why wouldn't you do that?
I've just pinned it,
yeah.
mate, for you. So anyone that's interested, if you click on the link above, it's got their Discord link, and it's all to do with the Bootstrap launch. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And then the campaign for launch. So we're working with probably about 3 different marketing companies now to start to build up the promotion of each of these different kind of campaigns that we're rolling out to launch. So, but there's that, and then I think one of the kind of cool things that I think most projects say that about the communities, but I'm no different. Is that we have a really good community in there as well. So jumping into the community, into Discord is probably where the kind of the most activity is in the Discord. But jumping in there, I think you'll find it's a pretty good environment, to kind of learn about blockchain, meet some new people, make some new crypto friends, and then kind of watch LayerOneX evolve. So yeah, but there's things that we haven't planned in terms of a structure up till launch.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. Obviously, a few of the main community were the ones that actually introduced me to you. And yeah, your community is amazing. Like quite a few of your community jumped into main, and yeah, they're really good guys, to be honest.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to know, man. Cheers.
And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm really excited for seeing how you do, mate. Can we just touch on the tokenomics and the token, and what the pre-sale price was?
Yeah.
And what the launch price is, etc.
Yeah. So the public sale, so the launch price listing is the public sale pricing, which is 50 cents. But with the tokenomics, how the tokenomics are designed is that the tokenomics are basically at TGE itself, day one at TGE. I think the circulating market cap is as low as 20 million circulating market cap, and so what we've designed the tokenomics to kind of vest out, so to allow for more adoption on the chain as those tokens kind of come into circulation. But in terms of what will be available with what you can do with the LayerOneX coin, the staking will be the staking on the nodes, and you'll have a choice of either the full validator nodes or the event listener nodes that kind of pick up the cross-chain interaction. So yeah, there's a few different things around the tokenomics, but it's starting with not financial advice, but 20 million is not that big of a circulating market cap.
Yeah, especially for a blockchain, I understand. But yeah, man, it's really looking forward to seeing how you're doing. And do you know, on launch, will it be 0 tax?
Yeah. So at launch, you'll be able to either get it on the protocol right through the DEX, or you'll be able to get it on one of the centralized exchanges. And we're finalizing our centralized exchanges now over the next couple of weeks, and so we have a list of those as well where people can purchase it.
Brilliant, mate. Really looking forward to that. Sorry, go on, carry on, mate.
No, you go, mate.
No, I was just seeing if Goat had any more, because Goat's looking in the Telegram at the moment for questions. So I was just seeing if you had any last questions, because we're coming up to the end of the hour now. So
yeah, mate. Yeah, Goat, is that an actual real life nickname?
No, it was just something I did. It's a nickname of 30 years, basically.
Okay, yeah, right. What? How did you get it?
Chat rooms, back in the 90s when I was on the internet. I don't know, and I've kept it ever since.
Hold on, man. There wasn't enough detail into why are you called Goat?
I don't know. Well, it was fried goat. I was a little kid. I was just coming up with something random, and then it's stuck ever since.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's become my identity now. I quite like it.
It's quite funny. Yeah. It's quite funny in the Telegram. Everyone posting memes of goats all the time.
Well, goats.
I did want to ask actually. So you guys are on Discord.
Yes. Yeah. We're on Discord.
What was the reason you decided to go Discord instead of Telegram?
Oh, we are on Discord and we are on Telegram. But
you're on both.
Yes, yeah, we're on both. So yeah, I should make that clear. Yeah, Discord and Telegram. But I just the activity in the Discord. Actually, the activity on both is pretty good, but the Discord seems to have more activity in there.
Yeah, to be honest, I'll be honest with crypto, especially your sort of side, with like technical in blockchains and stuff. I do find a lot more technical people use Discord, whereas more retail investors like Telegram. Do you know what I mean? So Discord is more for your sort of side, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and eventually it'll just be the LayerOneX app. That's where we'll have our community based.
Yeah, and
That'd be cool.
I was going to say to you, obviously, once you do launch the platform, I know we were speaking about it last time, but maybe we can do like a test AMA on your platform one of the times once you're close to launch.
Yeah, for sure, mate. No, I'll definitely be up for that. That sounds great.
That'd
Yeah,
be fun.
wicked.
Like there's a lot of functionality to this app. A lot of things going on that you can do within it.
Yeah, what I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
what I love about it is obviously, for example, say for example, LayerOneX was already launched at the moment, and we was doing an AMA on their app. What you can actually do, I'm sure you said before, you can actually check the chart and stuff while you're actually watching it and actually buy it live. So it's, in my opinion, it's really good for projects anyway to ask the people that are promoting their project to use LayerOneX, because people listening now have to come off X, go onto Uniswap, or use a bot in Telegram now nowadays. But with LayerOneX, literally your wallet's already connected, and you can just buy with any, like you just said, with any chain, which it's so impressive, really is.
and it'll be like I think both of you guys have mentioned this as well. Is like it'll be an evolution, right? So these are all on the app right now. I think the best use case is the swaps, and then what will come will be the multi-chain balancer pool, where you can kind of pull multiple tokens from multiple chains. There'll be the gaming arcade, Diga Arcade, which is a gaming project that we're working with, and they're building an experience on the LayerOneX app. And so there'll be a few different things, but as any ecosystem will continue to grow, I'm really interested to see what people do, not only on the app, I mean, just how they use the protocol. That would
So
be,
what
I
will
mean,
be
yeah.
so incremental updates, basically making it bigger and bigger. Lots more functionality. What will be there right at the beginning?
Yeah, so basically, right at the beginning in the LayerOneX app, you'll have the so they're building out the Diga Arcade gaming arcade. That'll be there. The DEX will be there. The multi-chain balancer pool and the swaps will be there as well. And there potentially could be the NFT marketplace could be on there as well, and the ability to obviously anyone to connect cross-chain and use the smart contract logic on any chain. But I'll just kind of touch on the NFT marketplace for 30 seconds. But so this NFT marketplace that and what you could build as an NFT marketplace on LayerOneX is something like this. So you could have an NFT marketplace on LayerOneX where you have an NFT on any of the chains, in a wallet on any of the chains we're connected to, and then you can place that NFT in the marketplace, and then at the same time you could you could all build on LayerOneX. At the same time, you could have options to place that same NFT for sale on OpenSea, Ethereum, Magic Eden, Rarible, Blur.io, multiple different kind of NFT marketplaces at the same time on multiple different chains. And then if it was sold on one of those marketplaces, because the smart contract logic are talking to each other, it would burn the other NFTs and hand over ownership of the NFT to the purchaser. And
So that's crazy. That's amazing.
It's and these are just the things that we can think of, like once you can self on board and you can start to build out. I mean, I'm really interested to see what someone else comes up with.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds really impressive, mate. And I'm not just saying that. Literally, I've done a few AMAs with you, and we could speak about it all day, to be honest. But I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the launch. Not just that, actually trying the platform out. And like I said, I'll try and do an AMA on there and see how it goes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, look, I would say, if you're doing a cross-chain swap next time, consider the L1X app, right? And if it's like at the moment, if it's like from Binance, AVAX, Polygon to ETH, or any of those chains, between any of those chains, ETH, Binance, Polygon, AVAX, at the moment we're still optimizing the ETH when ETH is the source chain, so from ETH, but that should be optimized this week. And then, so yeah, if you're thinking of doing a swap next time, just jump on l1xapp.com if you're on your desktop, and then just give it a crack.
I'm definitely going to, because DBS, who's in the room, me and him was actually speaking about this the other day, because we're actually looking at a project and it's on ETH and BNB at the moment. One of the prices went down probably about 24% cheaper, but because we don't really use BNB, we just didn't bother. But if I knew about this, do you know the hassle of going to sending funds to like cross chain? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So yeah, I do, mate. Yeah.
So how much does it cost to, like, on average, if you wanted? I know it depends on ETH fees because it can change, but like if you wanted to convert ETH to BNB or be like USDT, what do you reckon the fee would be for that using yours roughly?
I would say, look, it would be the same fee as going BNB to ETH, right? Because you've got source and destination chain fees, and BNB to ETH, I think on our testing was $6.
That's amazing. Honestly, I'm not going to. I'm not going to mention the name, but I actually use like an anonymous swap, and they charge a lot more than that. To put it that way. So
I was going to say, I tried to swap BNB to ETH. It was insane. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I think I transferred like $5,000 or $4,000, and it cost me over $100. So I should have just changed like through centralized exchange, but I hate sending money to centralized exchanges these days. So no, I would definitely give it a go, mate. 100%.
Yeah. Give it a go, and I'll be interested in your feedback on it, like what you think of it. And like I said, from ETH at the moment, just give us to the end of the week to optimize that. But from any other chain, from BNB, from BNB chain, from AVAX or from Polygon, yeah, give that a crack. Let me know how you go.
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, we speak in Telegram anyway. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure as usual.
Yeah, no, pleasure is mine, guys. I appreciate it. Always have a good conversation.
And good luck with your liquidity bootstrap initiative.
Yeah, thank you, mate. No, yeah, as I said, if anyone's interested, jump into the Discord or the Telegram. Jump into the Telegram.
And that's tomorrow.
But yeah, no, it is tomorrow. Yeah, so basically we've got a special AMA we're doing tomorrow night at 7 p.m. StreamYard, because just to mark the kind of first day of the liquidity bootstrap. And if you but the opening of the pool will be announced in the Discord before that. So
is there a minimum? Is there a minimum or maximum you can like put into it if you, for example?
Yeah, minimum of $50 and a maximum of 500K. But if you wanted to put 500K, you'd have to be like the first one joining the pool, because there's a maximum of 500K each pool. So there's once that fills up, the pool closes. The window of deposit is open for like 14 days from tomorrow that you can deposit in. But the earlier you deposit, the better, because every day within that 14-day window has a daily kind of reward rate to it. Like day one is 12%. So whatever value you put in day one, you get 12% on day one, and then you get every other day after that. So the next day is 4%, 2%, 1%, 1%, and then it builds up to 2, 3, 4, 5%. This is the daily rate over the first 14 days. And then every day from that day on until TGE, you're 1% daily on that. And it's paid out in LayerOneX rewards. So you're basically getting the L1X coin in reward that you can claim from TGE. You can claim both your liquidity and your rewards from TGE, but a portion of it, because it is kind of over 120 days, you'll be able to claim a portion of it as it comes back onto as the liquidity launches. Yeah.
Makes sense. That's amazing. And I wish you all the best of luck with that, bro.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, guys. No, thanks so much for having me. It's always great to talk to you. The GOAT, interesting name, mate. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Cheers, buddy. It's been good to speak to you.
And
yeah,
yeah,
you
well,
guys do.
once you've launched and stuff, we'll get you back on for another update and stuff.
Yeah, no, that'd be great, guys. I appreciate
Yeah.
it, and thank you to like all your community as well.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for everyone that's joined today. Obviously, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here, and we always appreciate it. If anyone's interested in an AMA with the main token, just jump into our Telegram, and we'd be happy to host you. So thanks a lot, guys.
Cheers, Scott. I'll catch you later. Bye.